Okay, get ready. And we're live.
Welcome back, everybody, to RaceFace GT3 Championship. We're here in a beautiful Spa in Belgium. Looks like a sunny day out. Not sure what the temperature is right now, but it does look a pretty day. I'm here, ShushieBushie, casting alongside Geemax and Drone managing the stream. How's everyone doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you. Good to be back here at RaceFace. It's been a short little while. I mean, the streams happen every 2 weeks, and I couldn't make the last one, so it feels like ages, really, since I've been here. But like you said, a nice day here at Spa. 20 degrees, if you wanted a little track update.
Ooh, there we
So, decent track temperature, a little bit on the cooler side, but it will get hopefully the tires up to temperature that they need to be. These guys driving at the speeds that they're currently doing, they will most definitely be getting their tires up to speed. So have you learned any more about racing since I've left you, or?
What I've learned so far is I've seen a few technical pit stops, because there's one mandatory pit stop. So I've kind of seen how a few of the guys approach that. You know, for example, where Cadelet, he was right second, he was about to take first, and then that perfect timing pit stop dropped him down to 7th, as we saw a few weeks ago. But then all of a sudden, other people had a pit stop before him, and that just shot him back to first.
Yeah, so I mean that's the nature of the pit timing. I'll talk to a little bit about it when we see here. Do you know the conditions for the pit stops for tonight? Did they have to change tires, put fuel in?
No, so all they have to do is they just have to mandatory stop. It's optional to fuel up and also change tires.
Okay, so they can kind of have free reign of what they want to do and how they want to do it. So that's pretty cool. Also, it means that you have to make sure that you stay with the pack. You don't have a mandatory pit window where everybody's going to be sort of going in at a set amount of time. So you don't want to fall off the pace early on. And at Spa, it is easy to just fall off the pace. You do want to make sure that you get around cleanly, of course, and this is the pro division, so hoping to have some nice clean racing.
Isn't it beautiful how we finally reunite again on the map, on the track, sorry, that we did the 3-hour endurance on?
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least you've had a little bit of practice here at Spa. It's something that we've seen before, and no, it wasn't the 3-hour endurance the Monza. It was Monza for 3 hours, wasn't it?
It was Spa. It was on Spa.
Was it a Spa? Okay.
Yeah.
I have terrible memory at the best of times, and I've had a super busy week. I've been up and down, and I'm back here for a little bit to basically sleep. Well, I was meant to sleep, but then I joined in for the cast. But yeah, I'm glad to be here at least, and I'm excited to see this race. It's an hour long, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. They're busy doing their...
They're finishing off with qualifying now. Yeah, and then we'll be going over to that hour-long race. So what is the grid size? 28 cars, as far as I can see.
That's correct. It's meant to be 32, but I believe some people might be experiencing issues. I'm not 100% sure. I do know the server has been bumped up. It is a bigger one, so it is able to run more racers, but still, you know, you don't want too many. You don't want to server lag here and there. Okay, but I want to quickly run through here. Currently, the standings. I don't know. Have you seen these standings?
Yeah, I was
gandered at it.
I've been following them pretty closely for sure.
Did you see, like, just the beautiful lead Cadelet is building up? Like, he's not losing that first position?
Well, I don't know what qualifying session that you're looking at, but
not the qualifier. Qualifier, not the qualifier.
Are you talking about the standings?
Okay. Yeah, the current standings. Yeah. I apologize.
Okay, you can run through those. I didn't know if you had a little overlay for those.
Oh yeah, no, we have an overlay. The overlay was up, I believe.
It's currently up.
Okay.
There's
So
currently one up now.
run through it, Sushi. Hit me up. Teach me.
Okay, I got this. So in first position, we currently do have Bruno Cadillac that is driving for Team Silverback Racing, and he's sitting at a beautiful 87 points. And then right behind him in second position is following with the JC Hrobler, driving for Team Wreckers, and he's sitting at 74 points. You see the difference a bit there? That is more than 10 points ahead. Anything could it's not too far behind, but he can still there's still some bit of a gap.
I feel like you're overselling how little of that gap it really is for now. Things could change up.
Yeah, true, but how many races there are still left? I believe there's after this one 2 more.
Okay, so there's not a lot of time. If things go absolutely terrible for Bruno here, it could be a close contention. As long as things go okay, then for JC.
Yeah.
Good to see them running in P1 and 2. So carry on. Now I'm keen to.
So technically, Bruno only needs to do good in 2 more races, because only your top 5 race standings will count towards your end of season points. So 5 out of the 6 races of your points counts towards your total.
So they allow you to have a throwaway round.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's for people that have possible.
Things. Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. Okay. Well, going back to the leaderboard, so currently in third position we do have Johnny Bago. I hope I'm pronouncing that wrong. No one gets back to us though if we pronounce the names wrong. Guys, if we pronounce your name wrong, please let us know. We'll try to not do that wrong, because it is going to happen that we butcher here and there. I do apologize if it does happen. We're not linguists, sadly.
I mean, I would as Englishman Geemax, I would go Van Bachen. You know, I'd try to go a little bit on the tall side of things. I like to experiment with my surnames, but
it's a
you go
Bago.
with one.
Bago.
You going
Bago.
Bago.
Bago. Straightforward. Bago.
I like Bago. It flows off the tongue.
And he's driving there for Team Wolf, and he's sitting for 56 points. So you'll see there's like a big difference there between first and second, because it's a 74 for second position, and then it drops down to 56. Still not bad though, because there is still a possibility to catch up. But like we said, there's 2 more races after this one, so we'll see how that one goes. And then 2 weeks ago, a brilliant performance by Charles Wilkin, that's now currently sitting in 4th. He's driving for CW Racing, and he's sitting at 48 points. He almost snatched a first spot last 2 weeks ago, but sadly he pitted in the last lap, which is you get a technical for that. So he did not get the win there. I think
Why do you get a
it was
technical?
130 seconds penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a technical infringement in the pit, and then that's what it adds on, because you can't serve your penalty afterwards. You can't just stop go, and you can't do a drive through.
Yeah.
As far as I understand, you can't do it in the last lap. As far as I understand.
Correct.
All right, and then in 5th position we have David Soretti driving for Team Bishitio Driving Motorsport. Sorry, and that's he's sitting with 45 points. Okay, cool. That's only the top 5 for now.
I mean, it takes you a long time to get to your top 5. So I'll forgive you that we didn't get to all 28 or now 27 drivers, but we've only got a minute 40 left with Polly.
Yeah.
I think it's time to start talking about some facts here. So a name that you didn't mention on that leaderboard at all, Mr. Zahir Essa.
Yes.
And he is in the server here. I think he might be a late entry, but
yeah, this is his first race with us.
First race here, and Zahir, a very, very fast driver. Only got some good things to say about him. He is extremely fast, and I'm keen to see what he does here. It's always good to see a Porsche up top. I'm biased towards Porsches. I might be biased towards other cars. I've got a new favorite, but that might be revealed or might not be revealed during the stream. So here up top, Cadiel 2nd, Vasaki 3rd, Wilkin 4th, Grayling 5th, Haber 6th, Bago 7th, and Rensburg 8th. Van Bergen 9th, Krobler 10th, Dupree 11th, Kruger 12th, Van Koller 13th, Van Skelpek 14th, Hugo 15th, Vogel 16th, Sinerain, I don't know how to say that, Sinerain 17th, 18th Isherwood, 19th Soretti, 20th Pirelli, 21st King, 22nd Gaber, that's the other Gaber, die Gaber, Sparks 23rd, Von Mansberg 24th, then we got Hugo de Witt 25th, Breed in 26th, Jansen in 27th, and I think McGear also coming down at the bottom there. So Breed and McGear. I've got to disconnect on one of my broadcasting apps here. But that will be the qualifying times, and that will be your starting grid here for Spa. Sushi, have you got some information on the formation lap that the drivers are going to do here today?
I am not 100% sure on that one, if I have to be honest. Drone, do you have any information on that?
Didn't they do it last week?
No, they didn't.
No, they have to start the race with a formation lap of some sort, whether it's short or they drive the whole circuit.
Oh no, it's a short.
A short
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
short formation lap.
You see, that's something I haven't heard before. That was beautiful. You just taught me something.
It's a pleasure. This is why I'm here. I've super subbed in, and qualifying session is over. We'll be rolling over to the race start in a secchi. I'm keen to see what the conditions are going to be like. It is. You've got the build-up of the track conditions from your practice to your qualifying, which then sort of sets the tone and the grip levels for your races. And then it's interesting to see what time. So we finished qualifying now at 9 o'clock. Race starts. I don't know all of this information because I was late to the party, but I will sort of learn all of that. Then I can kind of convey the messages as we go. So just on my end, Drone, just from what I see here, I still just see your corner one view. Is that still going to change on your Discord side? Okay. I got you.
Easy peasy.
If you want to jump out of this view, you can also just hit replay and then get back out, click drive, and then it will let you change your cameras again in the countdown. Then you don't get that default screen. Okay, so 30 seconds on the clock. Drivers now able to ready up, get their cars off of their hydraulic lifts, get them started up. You want to click ready, otherwise you will be jumped straight into the pits, which sucks.
Wait, where?
No, I'm just saying you want to ready up. So all the drivers now are starting to ready up, start their motors. About to begin. So countdown timer off. Leaders will be able to begin to pull away. Cars revving up. There they go. Issa and Cadiel lead us away at the front of the grid. Visahi, Wilkin on the second line. Krailing and Gaber on the fourth line. Baghoff and Rensburg. So coming up to Eau Rouge and Radio is just going to be absolutely insane. A beautiful little helicopter view. Always nice to see. And an interesting place for things to start here at Spa. The race starts down this start-finish straight and actually ends down the other start of the straight just after the bus stop chicane. So this is where the race begins. Race is live. Here we go. We're live here for the Spa round of RaceFace.Pro. Cadiel tucking in behind Essa as they go through Eau Rouge Radio Complex. This is going to be clean. I see a mess at the back of the grid, a whole bunch of cars getting sort of caught up coming into there, but for now it's Essa, Cadiel, Wilkin, Gaber, Visahi all getting away nice and clean down onto the Kemmel Straight. A beautiful race start for Essa and Cadiel. Wilkin also tucking himself in there. Bago running a little bit wide, coming through Combs now. Just following ahead here, or following along with our race leaders. Jumping back, Bago and Van Rensburg side by side. This corner that they're coming into, a tight right-hander. No camber to help you out, an understeer city. And it looks like a little bit of wide action for that Aston Martin. Who was that? I couldn't quite catch who it was. Let me try and follow along on my side of things. So action all across. Krobler down in 8th position. He's going side by side with who looks like, who's that? Is that Van Rensburg that he's going side by side with?
Yes.
It is. So side by side. Oh no, Van Bergen.
That was
So
fun.
gets himself a little bit of an advantage. Gets himself ahead, which is where you want to be. Van Skelkvik also going to be having a little look-see. That Porsche, cheeky beaky like, going to force Van Bergen wide in that Ferrari. Van Coller and De Wit also fighting things out. We've got Sparks, Van Coller, De Wit all coming round. This is a fast section of the track as well. You don't want to yield position. You don't want to lift. You don't want to lose speed before you get to the bus stop where you slam on the brakes. And just look at the speed that they carry through. Van Coller, he's got himself ahead of De Wit. Coming on to up to the bus stop here, De Wit. Gonna tuck himself wide there. Oh, nice and tidy coming through. Breed and McGear, they're getting themselves nice and close together. Absolute action-packed start to this first lap here at Spa for RaceFace.Pro.
Kind of got chills.
What are you thinking for now?
I got chills.
We still got Essa. Look at Essa just pulling a little bit of a gap now in that Porsche. I just want to say, handling that Porsche through this part of the track is absolutely big bravery required. Eau Rouge Radio through there, absolutely scary. So now we just watch Cadiel chase as they now come down to Brussels. That tight right-hander that we talked about before, really understeery and difficult, but Cadiel looks like he's got some legs through there. They now go through T11, which is also, you don't want to run too wide and pick up any penalties going through before you come to, I think this is, they say it Pahoon or Foon or Pahorn. It's a very I don't know how to say it, but it's a fast double left-hander where again you're not lifting up. Looking at Gaber now in that beautiful Audi. He's got Bago, Van Rensburg, Versace, and Kruger right behind him in a little train as they now make their way.
It's interesting to
Sorry,
see how
I was getting a little bit distracted by that train just running through. They're just going through campus side of things before they now start to come through to Blashamore, which again, like we said, very fast portion of the track. And it looks like at this point in time,
seems like people are taking a lot more wides though on this one. A lot more speed coming through these corners. A lot more bravery, I would say.
oh, but just look at the little battle that's happening all around behind there as well. You've got Bago, Rensburg right behind, and then you've got Versace and Kruger. Versace and Kruger are also going to just fight it out. We're currently looking at Soretti. Soretti going to go into the pits to serve that drive-through penalty that he incurred on that opening lap. Long pit stop here or a long pit lane, should I say, at Spa, and you'll be driving for days at 60 km an hour. So it's a
race on its own.
difficult. So we see our pit window is now open for the race, so drivers can now start to do their mandatory stops. Can we just run through the full order from first to what do we have? 27 cars, 24 cars. So here, leading things at the top of the pack in that Porsche, building himself up a nice little gap to Bruno as well. 1.4 seconds, it looks like. There's Bruno in that Silverback Racing Mercedes, currently holding down second place. Then we got Charles Wilkin, a very, very fast driver from the Gran Turismo side of things. I believe making the switch over to PC and Assetto Corsa Competizione. Awesome to see. Piloting around a Lexus. That may or may not be my new favorite car. But awesome to see Wilkin. And awesome to see him piloting a Lexus. I'm a big fan now. Gabbe in the Audi. I mean, we're going to talk about Gabbe, but I mean, look at the train. Look at the train behind Gabbe here. Guys are just pushing it to the limit, and at the same time, respectfully, just keeping themselves within arm's reach of one another, making use of the slipstream. So it's going to be Gabbe in 4th. Then we got Bago in 5th behind him. Van Rensburg in 6th. Van Rensburg even maybe going to have a little look-see in that Bentley. Look at the colors as well. I'm a color man, and that is... Oh, Bago's run wide. Van Rensburg, he's going to capitalize here, as will Versace, I'm sure. Versace gets through, and it looks like Bago, big mistake made, and Versace going to get through that as well. So as we continue down, Van Rensburg, Versace, then we got Kruger in 7th. Kruger... Oh, Grobler on the inside, a double move. He's made it. He's gone a little bit wide. Kruger's going to cut back and take the position, but it will be a position for JC there as he goes on past Van Bergen. Kruger will make the perfect exit really coming through, but now coming through Eau Rouge Radio, it's flat. Oh, big mistake. Grobler, is there contact from Van Bergen and Grobler? There are. Oh, Grobler, big off in the background there. We need to jump onto that. Grobler smashed the wall. That Merc has had a big off. And look how slow he'll be going down Kemmel. He's just going to be limping his way.
Let's see if we can see that on a replay.
Now. Yeah, let's have a little replay here. So, Van Bergen right behind Grobler. It looked like there was a little bit of contact. So, Grobler, oh no, Grobler's lost it. Grobler's made a little mistake there. Touched the grass. Oh, come back. Oh, he's made contact with Van Bergen there. And that quarter panel just caught him. Ooh. And he's gone into a nice little 360 no-scope recovery, though. But it will let Pirelli and Vogel drive on by, as will a whole lot of other drivers. He will be bleeding positions and needing to head to the pits. So carrying on down the order, there's Pirelli. He's run wide. He's going side by side with someone. That's with Vogel. So Pirelli in that Porsche. Vogel going to have a look on the inside. Is he going to have a look? No, he's not going to have a look on the inside. He's just going to tuck back in that Bentley and just wait a little while. He saw Pirelli running wide, potentially going to be making mistakes. Looking on the inside. Oh, contact. Contact made. Pirelli's gone off. Vogel doesn't think that it's worth him having to wait. He feels he was fair. He's going to let that go to the stewards. Pirelli not off the track and able to continue driving around. Now we're looking at Sparks, currently running in P13. I think that's one of the few McLarens, actually, that I've seen.
I believe that's the only McLaren on the track.
So that beautiful, I think it's a 720S. I think it is the 720S. It is the 720S. It's a beautiful black livery, a little bit of silver detail, some red as well. You can't go wrong with a little bit of red detail. Who's that? Who's that running wide there? Was that is that King? I think it was King. King and his Aston Martin, currently running in P12. Made a little mistake coming through the exit bus stop. Now coming through La Source, a good exit. Setting himself up for that second straight. Going through P2, which doesn't really have a name, before that P3, P4 touches the wall before coming into Eau Rouge. Rides on through. That Aston looks very, very stable coming on through there. And yeah, Sparks not really able to capitalize in the slipstream, and we'll continue to run through the order. So Vogel in 14th. Then we got De Wit, currently running in P15. Another Aston Martin on the field. P16 for Pirelli. McGear currently running in 17th. He's got Isherwood right on his tail. Isherwood driving around with a agenda here, and that's to take Pirelli's position, or to take McGear's position, should I say. So there's Isherwood. Then we got Jansen in 19th, Breed closely behind in 20th, Von Mansberg in 21st, Gabe in 22nd, Grayling in 23rd, Hugo in 24th, Van Colle in 25th, Sineren, I can't say it. It's just going to be like this the whole time, and I'm sorry, in 26th. So things heating up, and everybody's still seeming to be having an okayish race. If we want to jump over to car number 2. Was it? No, sorry, not position 2. Car 2. I don't know. Must I give you the position of them that you want me to go to, or do you want to go?
I think their position at the moment will be the best. That'll be the quickest.
Okay, then it's easier for me to get it for you as well. Okay, so Bago going to be jumping into the pits, as is Versace. You see them going off onto the side. King, he's got Van Skelkfake, who seems to be closing down the gap to him a lap at a time. 48 minutes on the clock, so some early pits coming out. I don't think these guys are going to be changing tires, but they might have some damage that they want to repair for those guys that are jumping into the pits early on.
Bumper cars today, hey? A lot more bumper cars.
You know, Spa's a very difficult track. There's just so many high-speed sections and so many different places that cars break that sometimes a little bit of rubbing as racing will take place. Currently looking at Van Bagen. He's got Gabe up ahead of him, Dupree behind him, holding down position 6th in his Ferrari. Position 6, sorry. Terrible English coming out from my mouth. I blame being absolutely tired. But yeah,
you're doing a great job.
A good solid race so far from Van Bagen, holding down P6. Top 10 is always a great place that you want to find yourself in a race. And being closer to that top 5, that's definitely like a cherry on top. So right now, Zahir is just holding at bay up in position 1 and 2. So Cadiel not really managing to match the pace that S is bringing out here in the Porsche. And I guess also hoping that maybe Essa maybe has a mistake or something going through Eau Rouge and Radio. That Porsche is a very, very difficult car to drive. What happens is when it's full of fuel, it feels a lot more stable. When you start to run lower fuel loads, it does start to lighten up because it's sort of mid to rear. It's rear engine. It's been moved slightly forward in the second revision here, but it's still got a very, very tail happy rear end, and any instability can just kick the rear out, and it's so hard to catch the slide. So as the fuel gets lighter, you're losing weight off the front, and that rear end becomes a lot more apparent. So I think that Cadiel is going to be hoping that the Porsche towards the end, it has to become sort of a little bit more like, I need to lift going through Eau Rouge Radio, and that Merc becomes, you know, the beast that he wants it to become, and he might find the pace towards the end. So you don't want to have a full fuel load the entire time. Obviously, you're going to lose time over the lap times if you are running just over-fueled. But at the same time, the fuel will benefit the Porsche drivers for sure.
It's also interesting to see because Kittle has been in the lead. He's been dominating most of the races. So it's very, very interesting to see that someone comes in, it's his first race, and he's just dominating.
It does not shock me at all. Zahir is an incredibly fast driver, and I just think it's great that they can continue to be limits pushed. You know, we can have drivers that are insanely fast, and we can have someone come in and show them up a bit, and you know, show that there is more speed to be had, and you get pushed to your limits. And I think that's what you want in sim racing, and to grow the scene and to have it, you know, continue and evolve. I think that's the bigger picture, really.
100%.
And what's really happening in South Africa at the moment is that boom in the sim racing side of things. Everybody's getting a little bit more involved. Everybody's getting a little bit more in touch. And it's really great to see. We're getting some, reach out of communities that may have not been, integrated before, and drivers coming from all different parts of the world. I know Zia mainly from the Twitter side of things. A lot of guys know him from other things, real life racing or sim racing, but a really quality gentleman. I've only had awesome chats with him, and definitely was in the starting phase of him getting into the ACC side of things, and really has gone to show why he does what he does. So currently looking at Vogel. Holding down position 12. It's closing down the gap to De Wit. Slowly catch a monkey. Blashamore. A little bit of scrape work on the side of his Bentley. Well, that's the Vogel's. De Wit's car looking a little bit cleaner. Now up to bus stop. Oh, closing the gap down on that Aston Martin. That Bentley beastly on the brakes, it looks like. Vogel, almost getting De Wit's number and not taking him to dinner afterwards at all. Just like, hey. Oh, inside of the source. Is he going to have a look? He is going to have a look. Vogel going to run a little bit wider here. Who's going to get the better exit? De Wit most certainly will. And a little bit of cheeky play from Vogel. Tried to get a little bit aggressive. Coming out the source, he will be punished. And you'll just see how he gets punished down Kemmel here as well. If De Wit has a perfect exit out of the top of Radior, he will just continue to amass some speed. Vogel will have that slipstream, of course, so we must consider these things. But a much better exit coming out from De Wit, and he holds Vogel at bay. And that's what you want to do in these races. You want to force the other drivers to make an error and let you just, continue about your way. When you're forcing errors and guys are over braking and picking up speed and then, sliding through corners, feeling that oversteer, they're wrecking tires. And each time it makes the laps harder and harder to drive. So a driver pushing aggressively behind you, if you can keep him at bay, you know that in the next 10 to 15 laps, he's going to fall off. And if you can keep him at bay and you can just manage your tires, it's just going to be better for you. In this kind of a race with no requirements to change anything, you want to be running your fuel load set for the whole race, and you want to be going in and trying to do this entire 1 hour stint on a single set of tires. You're able to do it. You don't want to waste 30 seconds changing tires. And here we see Wilkin overlapping one of the back markers. Sienerin in his Bentley getting out the way nicely before bus stop. And Wilkin currently still holding down that podium position, the third one. It's still a taste of metal, just bronze, which is always not as tasty as silver and gold. But Wilkin will be hungry and chasing.
I really like that, what you said there. That was, I feel like I could make a sign out of that.
A t-shirt, we can sell them.
I think that's a great idea.
When Batis rewatches the stream, we want a RaceFace t-shirt, please.
Yes, bronze tastes like metal.
So Van Rensburg here on the screen, he's having a nice bit of clean air. A little bit lonely out here in his JTT Racing Bentley. Again, I was caught by the color scheme. Color scheme, not color screen. Gabba, his Audi, also just looking also tasteful. He's got Van Bagen behind him, so this could be a battle brewing. So let's just follow these two for the next couple of laps and see what happens. You see that Ferrari of Van Bagen in the camera shots, closing things down. A nice little helicopter overview. Can we get a little onboard footage with Van Bagen in the Ferrari as he chases down our Gabba? Because I like to get some onboard in cockpit. There we go. Some in cockpit views as we go around with Van Bagen here. He's got Gabba in the sights, and he's in almost that awkward position where you don't want to get the dirty air, but you still want to benefit off the slipstream. The air turbulence into corners can upset the aero variation of your car, and it can be very hard to follow cars. So drivers that drive and follow cars for long distances and periods of time in trains, that's just superb concentration and brilliant driver control. And here it looks like Van Bergen is going to be closing down on Gabber. Nice little in-game stretch of the hands as he shifts gears. I quite like the animation there on the Ferrari. So
Putting on a
Gabber,
show.
look at this through Blashmore. Look how fast this Ferrari looks. And that Audi has been set up to just feel stable. There's aero for sure on this. On the outside, let's go back to our helicam. They are going to get into the battle zone before we even know. So going through bus stop, the exit is going to be blocked by Gabber. He's not going to allow any room to breathe. Wide entry coming in from the Ferrari here. He's going to try get the undercut on the inside, and this could work out. Look at that exit coming out from the Ferrari, and a brilliant move coming out from Van Bergen to get the work done. Gabber was trying to go defensive. He didn't know where to go, and Van Bergen said, you know what? You got this done. Fantastic move, and that was awesome to see on stream. Coming through the Eau Rouge Radio complex, back onto Kemmel, and Van Bergen, he's got the job done. Gabber, he's going to be trying to fire back. He's got the slipstream now as they come back through to the next little chicane. It is going to be no defense required. That Audi is just not hanging. Oh, very oversteery coming out from the Ferrari there, which means the Audi is going to catch back up. They're going to come back through into the worst right-hander with absolutely no camber. If there was camber here, it would be great. Just a little shout out to Spa, just add some camber for us. But anyway, Van Bergen, he's going to still hold off Gabber in his Audi. And a great little fight coming out from those numbered 93 and 15 drivers. I don't think Gabber's going to fight back just yet.
Well, they still have the mandatory pit as well, so I don't think it's. I just think he needs to keep his pace.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you got 37 minutes left of the race. You are 100% just in that point where you want to find rhythm as your dancer, as your theme song in your head, and you just want to keep it, flowy. You want to keep it on the track. You don't want to extend your track limits. If you've, amassed warnings for 1 or 2 track limits exceedings, you've only got 2 left. You're going to get a drive through penalty if you have that lapse in concentration and gain advantage. So you do want to avoid that at all costs. I'm currently getting very weird stream feedback on my end.
I believe that is your internet side, because you were here and there dropping a little bit. But you do sound a bit fine now. Jumping in quickly to chat here, Jason Absmeyer, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hello there, hello good sir, or ma'am. Hope you're having a lovely
Jason
evening.
is a good sir and a good man for sure, and I'm lagging for sure here.
Okay, so let me take over there then while Geemax just takes a look at what's going on his side. Currently we are all watching King and his Aston Martin sitting at position 9, follow, we just jumped to Van Rensburg there. Sitting in 4th position, trying to catch up to Cadillac, which Cadillac now is sitting in 3rd position. Wilkin did take him past, taking 2nd there. So Cadillac losing that secure 2nd position that he had for most of the start of the race. It'll be very interesting to see if Wilkin is able to close the gap between him and 1st position, because RZA is just driving exceptionally fast in his Porsche. So let's see if he can keep that lead. Everyone still does have a mandatory pit to happen, so it's all going to maybe come down to when they do take that pit and what they're doing in the pit. Or if, like Geemax said earlier, if something happens with the Porsche, if he starts losing fuel, if he loses that, if he loses control because of the low amount of fuel, but anything can happen. As Geemax said, this man is a good driver. Jumping back here to number 4 from Rensburg, trying to catch up to Cadillac. He is not far behind him. He's right on his tail. So we might actually see at some point him taking Cadillac past. It's just all about timing and execution.
Okay, my internet's fixed. I'm back.
Perfect.
Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound 100%. As beautiful as ever.
Okay, so the cars were doing all kinds of acrobatics on my side, which I'm glad was not happening all around because I had this horrible feeling inside. But that feeling is no longer as we continue to watch. Van Rensburg looking to catch up to Cadiel here. So Cadiel must have made a mistake.
Yeah, he's in
He
third
he was running in second. He's now in third. Van Rensburg pretty close behind him. So it looks like he's running a little bit slower perhaps in this Merc. I just want to see his next couple of lap times to see how things are running. Currently, his last lap time was a 2:20.1, which is off the pace of our leaders, Zahir and Charles, who are doing 2:19s. So I just want to see where Cadiel comes around when he finishes this lap, because he's definitely had a little bit of an off. So far, the best lap of the race going to, it looks like Charles for now. No, sorry, to Zahir, 2:18.8. Very, very fast laps coming out from there. Not far off is Mark van Rensburg with a 2:18.9. So Bruno is going to have a handful ahead of him if van Rensburg gets into that shooting range. Because he does have the pace and he has the ability to pull off those 2:18s at this point, which Cadiel so far in the race has not managed. He's almost there. He's got a 2:19.1, so 1/10 to go to get into the. But you know, those little splits all count towards those long endurance races over 32 minutes. A 10th at a time. Van Rensburg is just gonna munch away, and hopefully we see a little battle for third and fourth if Van Rensburg gets himself into that position. For now, Cadiel is comfortable. He's safe. He does have his rearview mirror full of a big Bentley, but he's not going to be too overthinking it. A rear view from the big Wang gang of the Mercedes, and you can see you could almost do one of those cool Instagram posts where you pretend like the the Bentley is a little model car parked on the top of that spoiler as they go through Eau Rouge Radio, and just look how stable that Merc is looking. Bentley has got legs on the straights. It's got a big top end. Merc also fights back there as well, so pretty good battle when it comes down to the cars here.
I would just like to mention, I've been keeping track of how far Vulcan is from RZA, and currently it does look like he's slowly but surely closing that gap. Still a 6 second behind, but he is slowly but surely closing it.
Yeah, so RZA might be in a little bit of trouble there in a couple of laps if Vulcan continues. Like I said, that Porsche does lighten up and become a little bit more squiggly towards the end of the stint. Not quite sure how the Lexus does. Well, I know that the Lexus on full fuel feels worse than it does with empty fuel. So I feel like it's almost the polar opposites. As that Lexus lightens up, it becomes a little bit more competitive on this Porsche. You might find it becoming a little bit more squiggly. And you have to add the air at the end there, because the Porsche really, it can, I mean, S is making it look like a dream car on rails. But I think he will do that with most cars. But this is a beast car to drive, and really, really dominating at this point. You see the next closest Porsche is Pirelli down in 10th. And quite a mixture of cars in between. Some Astons, some Martins.
Yep. We didn't see the Porsche. The Porsches weren't really.
I'm so done with myself.
That's okay. You're tired. You're forgiven. So Porsche hasn't been very dominant in the few races we've seen so far. So they haven't really breached that top 10 until now. We see 2 in the top 10. So yeah, it's just interesting to see RZA come in with his Porsche and just taking that first position and showing us the true speed that this car can go.
Oh, and it looks like it is just low, bro, going through there. Look at that. Oh, mounting the curb at the top. A radio on my end. So carrying on looking down at Pirelli still. Let's just see where our next closest battle. I think Gerber and Kruger are battling out 6th and 7th.
What? No, that's a pit.
Gerber is currently pitting.
Kruger still needs to pit. Yeah, so they will switch positions for now. Kruger will go into 6th, as will probably King. It's a long pit stop at Spa. So I think that 28-minute mark, 30-minute mark, you'll see a lot of these guys from first to 12th starting to do those pit stops. As Van Rensburg and Gerber in the pits there in 5th and 6th. Those positions will change up. But yeah, guys are doing no real changes in the pits. It's really just a stop-go. So you're coming back out on the same tires you're driving with, which means that they're starting to wear. They're starting to feel a little bit more meh. So those quick lap times that we were seeing are probably not going to get bettered towards the end of the race. They might do. They might find a little bit more. I'm not quite sure what the driving temperature here is. Oh, there we go. I can see it. It's 21 degrees ambient temperature. Track sitting at 23 degrees. So there's Grayling. Another Ferrari. Currently still within that top 10. We talked about it earlier. It's where you want to be. And he's got Sparks in that McLaren. Not too far ahead of him. And to be honest, it's actually closing down as we witness this. This could be our next fight. So little helicopter view as they go down through T11. And now T12. Oh. Grayling going to have a little look. Are they going to go side by side on the inside? It is going to be Sparks running wide. He's going to try for the inside cutback, but he can't, because Grayling is back on that power. And that's the move done and dusted. Grayling secures 8th position. And Sparks going to be trying to fire back. So let's just see if Sparks hangs on to the back here. There are going to be corners where he's going to try and take his position back. These are points. You're not going to just allow them to go for free. But if you can't hang on, you can't hang on. Oh, Pirelli in 18th. He's picked up a stop-go penalty for 30 seconds, as we see on the screen there. So that's unfortunate for him. Obviously, cutting some limits or... Ooh, interesting. So Pirelli, he's going to be shifted down the order when he goes and does that. So that means you have to go into the pits with that long pit entry. Make a stop. So Grayling going to jump into the pits here. Sparks going to continue out. So Grayling, oh no, Sparks going to follow him into the pits. Okay, so Sparks not even going to fight this out. He's going to try and match Grayling for pit stops.
I appreciate how you say Grayling.
Grayling?
Yeah, Grayling. Yeah. I like your way more though.
And Janssen, a little bit of argy-bargy, like saying, listen, this is my spot. So this is for positions, well, Janssen's just in 17th, or taken 16th, a bit in 16th. So it looked like Jansen carrying a lot of speed through there and not really considering the vets 100%. So I didn't quite catch it. But yeah, Jansen in that BMW just continuing his way through and making his way through the order. One of the only BMWs, I think, in the field as well. So one McLaren, one BMW. And this thing gears down like a mother trucker. Like, you can just slam the gears, just like you don't care. Like it's a rental car. And you can just use that engine brake and get yourself slowed right down. So De Wit is going to try and take his place back from Jansen. Don't think he's too happy with the contact that was made there. But again, Jansen not yielding the position or giving it back. So willing to let it go to the stewards and feeling like he did everything okay in the situation. So, of course, if you do feel like you've caused a collision, you can give positions back and you can, you know, there is that opportunity. But if you don't, then you open yourself up to a steward's inquiry. You still open yourselves up to a steward's inquiry, but they're a little bit more lenient if they see that you've done something and given a position back or waited for a driver. So De Wit very fast coming through Radio there, right on the back of Jansen, coming down Kemmel. Gonna now have a look coming into Lacombe's complex. This is a nice little 1, 2, 3 little set of corners, and just look how tucked up that BMW is. Oh, and contact has been made. De Wit has made contact with Jansen there, and De Wit waits off and lets Jansen on by. So De Wit getting a little bit too close there, and Jansen with a little bit of brake work going through the end of Lecombes. They go through Brussels, no longer, oh, well, I say no longer in fighting position, but De Wit, he's right back on it. And they're going to go through T12 now. And late on the brakes, well, I mean, early on the brakes, maybe coming in from Jansen in the BMW, because it looked like we saw De Wit close right up on there. It could be a little bit of damage done to that rear wing as well. Might be struggling here a little bit. And it looks like De Wit is managing his car a little bit better. I think Jansen has picked up some form of damage after that collision. Does not have the legs he had before. De Wit is and another collision coming through here, and yeah, that's
this is big.
That is a big collision coming through there. That BMW is going a hell of a lot slower than it was, and I don't think De Wit's patience was really paying off. Does get off the racing line there. Needs to make sure he doesn't get in the way of any cars rejoining. Is done safely there. De Wit does the right thing. But look how many positions it's cost him there. A little bit of aggression coming out, and Jansen driving a lot slower with a damaged car, I feel, is going to be someone to watch out for. So maybe we can follow along with Jansen for a little bit, because I think that the likes of Van Mansberg and Grayling are also going to be making their way through here. So Jansen comes through La Source. I just want to see how he handles this BMW now going through Radio or Rouge. If he is damaged, this is the corner that will test him. Oh, and just look, there we go. There he's lost it. And that car is very damaged. He's coming back onto the racing line. People have to avoid it. He's back on the brakes. And he's, Jansen has to now, yeah, he's returned back. I thought the car was damaged, and it is. So let's go jump back into, let's see who else has got some on-track action for us. I'm just going to try and find something on my end. So you've got Grayling there. He's got Van Mansberg in his radar. And looking very, very neat and tidy for this point of the race. All of these cars still looking like they've got decent levels of grip. If you get damaged, it's a different story, of course. But for now, it's about tire management. And I think the track temperatures enabled them to just keep it there. Oh, Grayling is looking absolutely on the money in terms of the pace in this Ferrari here. That Porsche looks like it is struggling. And again, this little section of the track can make or break lap times. And you can just see where braking points are on the inside as the Porsche runs wide. Van Mansberg off the circuit and will allow Grayling to go on by before Blashmore. And probably a better place to get the move done, really. You can continue down your fight of the pack. Magrier, the next in the line of sight for Grayling, which will be Innocent GTR versus Ferrari battle. Always fun to see different cars shooting it out on the circuit, and Grayling is just trying to make his way back through the order here. Coming up to La Source here as they start lap 17, I believe. Nice exit from Grayling there. McGear looking like he got a little bit of oversteer, which meant that his traction control kicked in a little bit too much. punishes the speed. Coming through Eau Rouge Radio as well. Oh, contact
Oh.
again being made. Oh, this is just unfortunate scene of events. Trailing knows he's made a mistake there. McGear hopefully not too damaged up. Oh, where does he touch the wall? If that rear oh, he smashed the rear diffuser as well. So he's waited, he's given the position back. But I don't know that McGear's can we go and have a little look-see? Can we get some onboard here of McGear? Let's just see how his Nissan handles. Look how damaged it is with that rear wing. Oh, he needs to try and get to the pits, and it's going to be almost race over. Oh, that's an unfortunate scene of events coming out there. And again, a steward's inquiry will be lodged because these kind of race-ending incidents are frustrating. Jumping back to things up at the top of the order, Essa still holds off Wilkin, who we're looking at the moment. Lap 17 at the moment. 18 minutes remain. Coming up to some back markers. Jansen now. He's got Wilkin behind him. Hopefully not going to be of any impact in terms of letting these guys get through. He will be getting blue flagged, of course. And now coming through bus stop. Almost the right place to pull over and let people through before La Source if you want them to come through or slow things down. There we go. So he is going to lift and let, it's going to be Cadill. Cadill's not going to get through just yet. He's going to have a little look-see on the inside. Good work from Jansen just to avoid Cadill there. Cadill did make sure that he was going to get through there before they got through to Radio or Rouge. And of course, they are fighting for position, these two, Cadill and Wilkin. They were navigating a back marker there. And it's always difficult. It's part of the racing side of things as well. You have to deal with it. But Cadill, he's looked like he's found some more legs again. And Wilkin might not be holding on to that second spot. Cadill, of course, made that error, which we didn't see. It was the only thing that we could kind of guess had happened. He dropped down the order. But right now, he's got Wilkin back in the line of sight, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Charles Wilkin versus Bruno Cadill. Lexus versus Mercedes. At Spa for RaceFace.Pro. This is a perfect round to have these cars shoot it out on. It's a perfect track to match up these two beasts. And Cadill is really a master of the Mercedes. So it will be great to watch what he does. Wilkin, for the moment, not too much worry. We say this all the time, but that car in the rearview mirror, if it's faster, and it's growing bigger. So Wilkin right now is going to be doing everything that he can to push. Let's see their last lap times that they had. So Wilkin made a mistake. He did a 221.06, which is why Cadill has caught up here. 219.9 from Cadill. So let's see what Wilkin does around here now. And it is important to always track these things because things can go wrong in a split second, and at Spa, because of the speed that you carry everywhere, it can just be so detrimental. Through bus stop they go before they start lap 19 here. 15, or let's call it 16 minutes remaining on the clock before La Source. And it will be a 219.5 from Wilkin with a 220 from Bruno. So a little bit off the pace from Bruno there on that last lap. Wilkin picking things back up. Feeling the heat, feeling the pressure. And this is where things will start to count. Because if you can hold your own in this sort of part of the race, then you've got things set out. Second position on the cards possibly for Wilkin. He'll blaze by on King down the Kemmel Straight. Another back marker just getting out the way. Cadill will have to deal with him through Lacombs. So that will give Wilkin a little bit of breathing room as well. Hopefully not going to be impacted before Brussels. Let's just see what can we follow on Bruno and just watch how he gets through on the inside line. Perfect from our back marker there, which is King, just jumping out of the way and allowing the race to continue for the leaders ahead of him. And this is great racecraft. I mean, we can talk about all kinds of things. We can talk about great drivers up front. But for backmarkers, it's also important to note that they're doing their bit to ensure that the racecraft here is kept utterly pristine and keeping it nice and tidy so that nobody is impacted up at the front by someone who's having a race with someone else near the back of the pack. So only 3 drivers yet to pit: Essa, Wilkin, and Cadhill.
In chat, people are asking to take a look at Versace. We're getting an F train.
For Versace, what happened
Yeah.
to Versace?
What's looking at Versace? Can we quickly jump to number 4 there? Car 94. There in his pink car. He was apparently Gerber and Versace were battling it out earlier, but it does look like Versace is it has a big run up on Gerber, and he's gonna lap Vogel.
Yeah, he looks pretty comfortable for now. Vogel going to get lapped. It just depends on what happens with these backmarkers. If it's a difficult move and it's a difficult place to get by, then that gap to Gerber will close down. So coming up to Brussels here, not going to be able to get the move done just yet. Not in the sort of position for Vogel to have to get out the way just yet. T11. Versace, yeah, this is where on the exit he will get by before T12. Oh, Vogel going to try and capitalize off some slipstream here. Cheeky little move there. Wants to not lose anything else. Had to slow down for Versace already. So trying to make it back up. Tucks right back in. But it will look like Gerber, looks like Versace will hold back Gerber for a little bit longer, as Gerber now has to deal with the back marker himself. So it's always like a bit of a relief. Like, it's hard. Back marker, you're like, ugh, but it could, take the driver behind you a little bit longer to pass or find a place through safely. So Versace in is Rinaldi racing pink. Is it the Pink Panther? I don't know. In some other series, he drives for the Pink Panthers, but this is an Aston Martin. So Rinaldi Racing is the name on the car livery that he saved. So we're just gonna go with that. Well, I am. It makes it easier for me. Rinaldi Racing, yeah. So bus stop, chicane. Still no laps or pit stops coming up from our top 3. Essa, Wilkin, and Cadhill continue to drive around 12 minutes on the clock.
Tell me, now that Versace, he's already had his pit, do you think this can give him an opportunity of opening up to possibly get podium?
At this point in time, I don't think so, because of where on the track the top 3 are. Wilkin and Cadhill are almost coming through the back of Blashemore now. So I think that they've got enough time to get into the pits, do their stop-go, and get out ahead of... So I think our top 3 will come out quite safely. I don't think it's going to be 100% close, but I'm quite keen to see what happens between Wilkin and Cadhill, to see if Cadhill's maybe going to go for a little bit of an undercut on the pit stop side of things. He is kind of maintaining the gap that he has to Wilkin at this point in time, but it's up to, one of these 3 to bite the bullets and get into the pits at some stage. Can't just do the whole race out. So it is going to happen soon. There's only 11 minutes left to do it. So things could change up. Grayling, von Mansberg, Ferrari versus Porsche. Grayling on the inside there of the bus stop. I think the diving Ferrari coming in for that Porsche just yielding. Von Mansberg not wanting contact and not going to fight and defend that inside line with the car coming in like that. So Grayling does the job done. I think Grayling at this point a little bit frustrated, pushing the car a little bit harder than he would be in a mental space. So just trying to pilot around now. 10 minutes left of the race. You just want to get through to the end and not have anything race ending, A big off at the top of radio into the wall, and it's pretty much race over for you. So I think it's time, with 10 minutes left on the clock, to just do a full run through of our order again. Starting things off with Essa up in first position.
He's flying.
flying.
He's a man on a mission.
Then we've got Wilkin in second position. Cadiel third, closing down the gap, or trying. Visagie in fourth. Van Rensburg in fifth. Pieghaber in sixth. Van Bagen in seventh. Kruger in eighth. Dupree in ninth. Bago in 10th. King in 11th. Van Skalkvik 12th. Grayling 13th. Von Mansberg 14th. Sparks 15th. Isherwood 16th. Gaber 17th. That's D Gaber. F. Vogel 18th. Pirelli 19th. Janssen 20th. Hugo 21st. Van Coller 22nd. Sienerain 23rd. 24th DeWitt. And 25th I've got Soretti on my side, but I think maybe retired. So a couple of retirees. We had 28 to start, 24 remain, 8 minutes on the clock. Pits for Wilkin. Wilkin's gone in. So that will be Wilkin answering first. That Lexus going down. The stop go. Will it be a stop go? He has. He's had a successful pit stop. So he should be able to get out now. It's basically watching Visagie to see where Visagie comes out. So I'm watching Wilkin on my screen. We can follow Visagie. So Wilkin is coming down the second part of the start-finish straight. He's going to get out here pretty much with a bang amount of time to continue. Our top three have been absolutely flying. So Wilkin will get out in third. He's still got Cadiel to pit. So Cadiel now needs to really push. Hope that Wilkin gets caught up in traffic. And hope that he can get his pit stop done quicker and get back out without traffic. That's really where these pits will really play and change up. Oh, King in 11th. He's picked up a drive-through penalty. That's going to be massive for King. That's going to be an 11th place thrown out the window in the last 10 minutes because driving on through the pits, like we saw how long it was, Wilkins only exited the pits now after talking about him going in. So King picking up a drive-through, exceeding track limits, I think, for the final time. And that's absolutely heartbreaking for King in his Aston Martin. And it's going to make a big difference. So let's go back over to Wilkin here. Let's just see what he has to deal with when it comes to traffic. I think he's coming out behind Isherwood. Isherwood here going to be getting the blue flags to get out the way. Wilkin going to be wanting to get through traffic as quick as possible. So it's going to be Essa jumping into the pits off screen while we watch Wilkin get through here. Isherwood doing a good job, perfect job as a back marker, letting Wilkin get on by unobstructed. So not really going to get costed anything. So Cadiel also jumping into the pits. So our two leaders, Essa and Cadiel, into the pits. Essa going to be going out of the pits. So Cadiel will go in. Let's see where Wilkin comes out. Wilkin now coming through Campus and Stavelo. Stavelo, I think that's how we say it. Stavelo.
Sounds right. Stavelo.
Stavelo. T16 before coming through to Blashamore. I can't say that name perfectly, but I'll try my best. So let's just go and see where Bruno is in the pits, if we can jump over to Bruno. So Bruno be exiting. He's got King serving the drive-through behind him. Wilkin is coming down to the bus stop chicane. But just look, so Wilkin's going to go through bus stop. Or I think Wilkin's going to get through here. Wilkin is coming down to La Source now, which is T1 to start the lap. Bruno's going to be coming out the top of Radior out of the pit exit very slow. So around La Source, Wilkin will go off screen. Cadiel is going to exit the pits. Now Wilkin comes down the second part of the start-finish straight where the race starts. He's racing down. You see him in the screen. Pit window is closed for all that they've just got their pit stops done. Cadiel going to get out onto Kemmel. He is ahead of Wilkin, but Wilkin going to be carrying a lot of speed through here. Wilkin I think that Cadill's got out here in perfect time. They're going to get through here to Lacombe's, and Cadill's going to be having a hell of a time. So the pit stop, picking up and paying off. Wilkin going in early and maybe getting caught up a little bit more there. But Bruno getting out, taking that second position in the pit stop. And Wilkin now going to be pushing as hard as he can. 4 minutes remain of the race. RZA, he's been uncontested up at the front. But for now, this battle for second and third could really start to heat up. A change of positions in the pit stops. A late pit coming out from both drivers. A lap apart? A lap apart. Cadill came in third. Exited second. And this is exactly what Cadill would have wanted. And Wilkin now doesn't seem to be quite on the same pace that he was before he went into the pits. Maybe a little bit rattled by the change in position. But Wilkin can do it. And if anyone's going to give Cadill a fight for the money, it will be him. So the Lexus versus Merc battle continues. Pit crews maybe paid a little bit more money, you know, get those imaginary no tires because they didn't have to change them on quicker. It was basically the lollipop man. It comes down to the man with the fastest lolly at the end of the day. And it looked like the Merc lolly was much faster than the Lexus lolly man. Wilkin chasing down through bus stop. They go around to start their 24th lap here at Spa. 3 minutes remain on the clock. Wilkin versus Cadill for second and third. And this is going to be a fight to the very, very last lap. Both drivers going to not be wanting to push those track limits. I'm not sure of what track limits they're currently all on. It would be nice if Kunos gave us that kind of information. We could see who's on what track limits, who's at a risk of getting a drive-through penalty if pushed too hard. But alas, we cannot. So coming through to Kemmel. Wilkin's looking like he's got some pace coming through there. Look at that gap closing down to Cadill. Coming to Lacombe's now. Wilkin is closing in. Cadill is in trouble here. He's going to get defensive. And Wilkin versus Cadill heats up as they now go down to Brussels. Wide for Wilkin. And that's a bit of an error coming out there because Cadill has got a little bit more breathing room. That Lexus looking a little bit faster in some places. The Merc shining in others. And a great livery from Cadill. That Silverback Racing livery is just phenomenal. You can't change a livery in the Lexus, so Wilkin doesn't get evaluated on livery choices. But with a minute 40 left on the clock, it's not time to talk about liveries. It's time to talk about this on-track battle. So through T12 they go.
It seems like we have a fight also going on there by 10th position. I see Kreling is back to 11th position.
Yeah, Bago and Kreling also, like you said, fighting things out. This is Bago and Dupree side by side. And it looks like Dupree gonna lose that position to Bago. So that's Bago into P9, right?
That's correct. Just a bit of a slow update.
Yeah, sometimes it does update. Van Rensburg and Versace, they're side by side. This is the last 30 seconds, 34 seconds. They're coming up to bus stop side by side. Van Rensburg and Versace now. Versace on the inside line. Who's going to break first? Versace's got the inside. A lot of sausage taken. He cuts across. And it just looks like Van Rensburg going to try and look where he can get through. But Versace making that Aston Martin as wide as he can. That Bentley now going to be on the chase. It's the final lap, I think here. It is the final lap coming out. Or almost the final lap. Second last lap. That we haven't got the final lap warning. So Van Rensburg
is on his final lap.
Is on his final lap. Okay, so S is on his final lap. Versace, he's going to defend against Van Rensburg for 4th position. And it looks like He's got the run through Kemmel. Van Rensburg and Gabber's made the move on Van Rensburg, so he's shifted himself into 5th place there, and it looks like Van Rensburg gonna have a fight there. Let's go back to Van Rensburg and Gabber. They're now fighting things out. Oh, Van Rensburg, he's made the move. He's now on the hunt. This is a fantastic thing to see on the final lap. A chase for position for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Visagie holds off Van Rensburg, who holds off Gabber. They go through T11. Now through the fast double rights, T12.
These guys have been fighting a close race from the start. These guys were part of the regional train in the start.
Yeah, no, these guys have had an absolutely phenomenal battle coming out. And right now, Van Rensburg, he does look like he has... So, in Zahir will take the victory. We don't have time to cut to him just... Oh, we do. There we go. Are we cutting to Zahir? So, Zahir, the race victory. But let's quickly jump back. We'll go back to Zahir now. Visagie, he's got a hold off Van Rensburg. This is a battle for 4th and 5th. Van Rensburg, look at the speed he's carrying through here. He's going to try and have another look, I think, coming through Blashmore here. And I think he really is going to try and have another look before they get to bus stop. Visagie, he has to make that car as wide as possible. And Van Rensburg, he's got nowhere to go. He can't pass him. He wants that inside line. Visagie, look how wide he's making that car. He's going to defend, and he's forced Van Rensburg to go wide. And he'll hold him off again. So Visagie holds off Van Rensburg. Visagie will cross the line in 4th. Visagie in 5th. So Cadiel finishes 2nd. Let's do a little run through here. Zahir Essa finishes 1st. Cadiel finishes 2nd. Wilkin 3rd. Visagie 4th. Van Rensburg 5th. Paul Gabber 6th. Van Bagen 7th. Things could still change up here, I think. No. 7th for Van Bagen. 8th for Kruger. 9th for Bago. Dupree 10th. Grayling 11th. Von Mansberg 12th. Van Skulkfake 13th. Sparks 14th. King 15th, Isherwood 16th, Gabber 17th, Vogel 18th, Borelli 19th, and Collar 20th, 21st for Jansen, 22nd for Hugo, Sienerain 23rd, and De Witt 24th.
That was a pretty intense ending today.
Absolutely nutty ending. Nutty race. Great showing at Spa. I think all the drivers deserve a little pat on the back as well.
Yeah, I think you deserve a pat on the back as well too. You and Drone. Yeah, everyone did a good job today. Good racing today. Good casting, I believe. It's always good having you on the cast. And yeah, I hope everyone watching enjoyed.
Yeah, just I think also just a reminder to all the drivers for if they've got racing incidents to just submit them through their stewards inquiry section on their Discord. But yeah, I think overall great race, awesome driving. Thanks for having me, guys. I had a great time. Great camera work, Drone. Sushi, as always, fun teaching you a little bit of sim racing, and hope to catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, and 19th March.
19th March, we'll be on Paul Ricard in France.
Sounds good.
See you guys there. Have a lovely evening.
Good night, everyone.